What's up, guys? Welcome to the UFC 250 recap show. I'm your host, as always, Ryan, and joining me, as always, is local MMA site manager Jordan Ellis. How you going, Jordan?
I'm good. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. Big card we had this weekend. UFC 250, headlined by Amanda Nunes and Felicia Spencer. Just a dominant victory on Nunes' part. Wasn't even... No competitiveness in the fight. It was just domination from the bell. Not much I can say about Felicia Spencer's performance aside from she didn't really show a lot. I thought if she was to win, it would be on the ground. I thought she'd be able to take Nunes down and maybe control her, but the opposite happened. On the ground, she was just outclassed, you know, and Nunes is just a machine. And who beats her? Who beats her? What are your thoughts about the event?
So overall, the event was, it was good, but this particular fight was kind of just what many had expected. It just thought the only thing that kept Spencer in it was how tough she was, and then also the fact that Nunes decided to take her foot off the gas in the fifth round. Like, that was kind of, a mercy kill at the end. Like, she stepped back and she just dictated the fight, and it's what many expected. That's why that person put £1 million on Nunes to win, because or $1 million, because it was obvious she was a massive favourite. That's what should have happened. I'm sure in most people's mind, Nunes should have got the finish, but she still looked amazing. Spencer's just so tough, so props to her for surviving. But it's no surprise to anyone. I don't think that fight, how it went and how dominant she was, it was just... The only surprising thing is that Spencer was able to take it all, so shout out to her.
Yeah, and I mean, there was talk online after the fight that the corner should have stopped it, and I don't think that's the truth. I think she was in it. She was game the whole time. She was completely coherent. It wasn't like she was loopy. She was taking these big shots. She was taking a lot of damage, and she was just being dominated. But I don't think it was stoppage worthy. You know, she was still there. I think Nunes could have definitely finished the fight, but if you heard her speaking after, she was saying that she wanted to go 5 rounds. That was the plan from the start. She wanted to prove people that she could go 5 rounds, and she did, and she looked perfect through every minute of every round. So if that's what she was going for, she executed on the game plan perfectly. And I don't even know what they do at featherweight anymore, especially with Nunes taking a little bit of time off now, because she's going to have take care of her child and whatnot. Spencer's beaten pretty much half of the featherweight division. Who do they give her? What do they do with her now?
Just going back to what you were saying, I don't think it should have been stopped either. I think there was a case in the end of the round 4. It was tough, and she had that big hematoma on her head, but they cleared that up, and she come back out, and she was always in the fight. Like, all she had to do is get her to the ground and, kind of take her back. She was never gonna... it's not like she'd lost power in her punches and she was trying to knock her out. That's not that way in a game plan anyway. So she was always capable of pulling off a game plan, but obviously Nunes didn't let her. Nunes, she says she wants to go 5 rounds. I think if Spencer Wayne is tough, she would have went for the finish. It was just one of them. And then in the 5th round, she kind of just, was cruising to victory. So she just took that. At featherweight, I'm done. Like, I'm kind of done watching featherweight now, because I don't understand. There's not a division there. It's just they've made the belt for Cyborg. Cyborg's gone. Nunes has got it. Props to her for getting it and defending it. But besides Nunes, I'm really not interested in watching any featherweight fight. And like Felicia Spencer and Megan Anderson are like the standout girls. But Felicia Spencer just beat Megan Anderson not long ago, so do we want to see Megan Anderson fight Nunes? I'm not sure we do. I'd prefer just to see her come back at 135 now, and there's a few girls down there, as we said last time. Ari and Aldana's the standout one for me, but then you've got Pena, you've got a few different girls. So hopefully she goes off, she has a little break, she enjoys her family, she comes back, and a clear number 1 at 135 emerges, and then she can take on them. And then there's always Valentina just waiting in the wings.
That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the trilogy between her and Shevchenko. But like you said, there's not a lot for her. She can take time off. It's not one of those situations like with lightweight or welterweight where the champion takes time off and the division's held up. Both of those divisions, 35 and 45, there's no clear contender. There's no clear opponent for her to face now. So, in my opinion, she could take a year off. I don't think she will. She could take a year off, and still those divisions would have to find the right person to challenge her when she comes back. And so we'll just move down the card. And the next fight in the co-main was Cody Garbrandt versus Rafael Assunção. that beautiful knockout from Garbrandt. What a way to break your losing streak. What a way to get back into the win column. I'll get your thoughts on the fight first. What do you think?
I thought first things first, Cody Bryan looked much better. He looked like he looked just switched on. He looked like he was paying attention. He was cautious about what was coming at him. He weren't throwing wild, except for that one final punch, which was just like literally dragged his fist off the floor. It just seemed like so much frustration into one punch, and it was just perfect. Like, you don't get knockouts sweeter than that. It was right on the buzzer, and it was just a perfect shot. And I'm actually really happy for him because he's still young. He's still got all the he's got everything it takes to be a champion. And before the fight, he was speaking about potentially staying at bantamweight, which I think is a good shout because I think he could hang with a lot of them still. It's just if he's at his best, and that was his best, and whatever happened, if that knockout didn't come, he was winning that fight. He was just he was dictating it, and I liked everything I seen from him, and especially that knockout was just perfect.
Yeah, he was definitely winning that fight. I thought Assunção would have a different approach to that. I thought he would come out more aggressive, whereas there wasn't a lot to offer for him through the duration of the fight. He didn't really throw too much. Garbrandt wasn't throwing huge punches until the end. He was just tagging him. He was just doing enough to get the win of the decision. And I'll tell you what, his speed was incredible. He looked very, very fast. He looked as good as he's ever looked. I think that was his best performance he's ever had, in my opinion, that I've seen from him. That was speed-wise, I'm talking about, like how he entered the octagon, his power and his speed. He looked fantastic. And that knockout, that was just perfect. He ducked at the right time, came up high, and put him to sleep. Yeah.
And just as we were saying last time, it doesn't take a lot for people to forget. He's got that big viral knockout. No one's thinking about his 3 losses anymore. Everyone's thinking Cody Garbrandt's like basically the shit because he's just scored the best knockout on the card, and he's just stole the show really. So yeah, he's back in the mix. 135, 125, whatever he wants to do. I'm excited to see him fight again, and I'm just happy that he got the win because someone that good shouldn't be on a 3-fight losing streak. And I wouldn't talking about matching him now. I wouldn't mind seeing him rematch Pedro Munoz because I'm sure he's frustrated by that loss. But then there's Corey Hagen. There's all kinds of fights there. He's only 1 or 2 off a title shot now. That's how quick this division can turn around. So excited to see him. Assunção, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's in his late 30s now, I think. So it's a tough spot for him.
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to see him come back and get a win, and then maybe call it a day because he's clearly losing to the top guys, but he's still losing, and he is a top guy, so he won't be happy with that. So excited to see Garbrandt, and hopefully we see Assunção get another win in there before he calls it.
Absolutely, and so that's a good segue onto the next fight, which was between Corey Sandhagen and Aljamain Sterling, and one of the most flawless performances on the card, probably just under Nunes's, obviously. Aljo came out there with a plan. He went aggressive very early, straight in his face, pushed him against the cage, and then shot for the takedown. Oh no, he caught a kick actually, now I think about it. He caught a kick, walked him to the cage, took him down, took his back, choked him out. Perfect. What did you think?
It was just perfect, and he should be the champion now. There's no doubt in my mind that these two are the standout guys in the division. You've got the best wins, the best runs. Sterling definitely has the best run now. He should be the champion, and it's just the way it goes. Like, he's not champion, but I'm sure he'll get that one back. I think his last loss was Mariah's, wasn't it? And that was kind of obviously I don't want to take anything from Mariah's, but it was a bit fluky. He kind of dipped into a knee and he just caught him. So I'd like to see them two run it back
for sure
at some point. But Peter Yan, as impressive as he's been, his best win in the UFC is Uriah Faber, so I don't think he needs to be in a title position yet. And then Aldo obviously is coming off a loss, so I think that should have been for the title, but it weren't. Sterling should be champion, but he isn't. But I'm looking forward to him anyway. And it was flawless. It's just one of them when someone gets you in that position so early and they're so high level. It's just, you could just hear the commentators saying, "Oh, it's done." When it's that early, the dry. Sandhagen, as good as he is, that's just such a tough spot to be in, and he'll come again because he's only young. I did expect him to drag it out for a bit, but as soon as you get in that position, it's game over, especially with Sterling on your back. So credit to him. Hopefully he gets the shot. I don't see why they can't just give him the shot and just take it away from Aldo or Yan. I don't think either of them two, although they've been on paper it's being told that they're getting it, I don't think either of them will be too shocked that they don't. Because they're talking about like not giving Conor McGregor a shot at the interim title because he doesn't deserve it. So you've got someone coming off a loss, so how do they deserve it? It's just nothing makes sense with the UFC right now in terms of these titles. They follow one code where, oh yeah, Gaethje's definitely fighting Nurmagomedov because he deserves it and they deserve it, but Aldo and Jan deserve the 135. It doesn't make sense. So hopefully Sterling's not waiting too long.
For sure, and I think it's obviously about who sells, and Aldo's going to sell more than Sterling will, so I think they will go with the Jan Aldo. And the other thing about that matchup, Jan has some good wins. I think he's beaten Jimmy Rivera, he's beaten Faber. He's got good wins. He's on a bit of a streak. I think he's on a 6-win streak, maybe. Sounds about right. Anyway, Sterling is obviously the clear-cut contender. I don't see why Jan managed to jump Sterling, you know what I mean? I don't see why Sterling wasn't fighting Aldo for the belt. I guess because Jan has all this hype coming off that win over Faber. And I think skill-wise, Sterling probably has his number too. But who knows? We haven't seen enough out of Jan in a bad situation to see how he deals with it. Speaking of skill, though, Hagen is probably one of the best fighters in that division. And I think a lot of people are going to write him off after this loss, but you can't do that because it was just such a flawless performance by Aljo. You can't look good in a fight where you just it's a minute and 28 seconds of domination. You can't look good, no matter how good you are, you know what I mean? So I hope people don't write him off like they did Garbrandt.
No, I think he's just been caught, and it's one of them. Like it's almost better to just get caught with something than get dominated for 3 rounds, because then that shows 3 rounds, because that shows massive holes in your game. Then you've got to go away, and someone's being able to dominate you like that. He's just got caught. If that didn't happen, he would have had a good fight. So as frustrating as it'll be, he'll know it's just, oh, I made a mistake, I don't need to be in that position again, rather than, oh, I've got to go away and work on my striking or work on my wrestling. There's not much he needs to work on. He just needs to go away and just work on that little mistake and come back. But as you were saying about Jan's on impressive streak, and I think he is the guy. I think he probably is the next champion, and I think he might beat them all, but he hasn't earned that spot yet, and that's all I'm saying. He hasn't earned that title shot. Sterling and Sandhagen have better records than both them two at 135, so it's just a frustrating thing as a fan, and seeing someone put on that type of performance, he should be champion now, and it's the UFC job to make stars. They are promoters, so as much as they say, oh, this person sells, that person sells, make Sterling a star. Look how talented he is. Why isn't he a star right now? Yeah, that's your job to make him a star. So it's frustrating just from his point of view, but I'm sure he's happy. He's got his win. He knows he's getting a title shot. He's not, but it just depends how long. Say Jan and Aldo go for a 5-round war and it's a split decision. They're going to run that back, and then he's going to wait longer. So it's frustrating just for me as a fan. So for these fighters, must be just so annoying.
Wouldn't surprise me if you see Sterling get a Moraes match in the meantime while the title's been fought for. I think Moraes is a good matchup, a rematch there. I think he'd win that too. If he can get past that first round with Moraes, who's just a machine when he comes out, I think he can win the fight. Definitely take the second and third.
I just don't think it's smart. Like he's in a position where he's such a locked on contender. There's no one budging him off that spot. He doesn't need to fight again unless he wants money. Other than a money fight, he should wait, and then he could potentially do that Moraes fight for a belt at some point, and it's worth about 3 times more money for him. So because they can build that up, they can keep showing that knockout over and over again, and then it'll get hype. So I'd wait if he can afford to wait. Not everyone can afford to wait, so but he's just made hopefully a bunch of money, and he's all right.
For sure. And so the next fight, the fight before that, probably the least entertaining fight on the card, in my opinion, and that was the matchup between Neil Magny and Anthony Rocco Martin, which went to decision, which Magny actually won. Could have gone either way, in my opinion. Not a lot really sold me on either guy until the third round. Magny turned it up, and I think Rocco Martin just faded. He just got tired and, just faded. So at the end, it was clear Magny was winning. However, at the start of the fight, I thought the first round could have gone to Martin. I thought the second round could have gone to Martin. It could have gone either way. So not a lot to take from this fight, in my opinion. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I was hyping Magny up before the fight, and I was kind of disappointed that he was fighting at this level. And it showed a bit, because sometimes you need the better opponents to drag it out here. And then he was just he just weren't he weren't on. He just weren't on that night, and he was getting a bit outworked by Martin. But I think whatever way I had it, that third round just cemented that Magny's clearly the better fighter. He dominated. He dominated, and that could have been a 10-8. So it's just one of them where even if I thought Martin won the first 2 rounds, I think Magny did enough in the third round to drag it back and kind of sway my opinion on the fight. I know that's not how you officially score things, but
yeah.
Even if I was technically scoring to give Martin the first 2 rounds, I would have give that last round 10-8 because he was just battering him from pillar to post. So just glad to see he got the win because I think he can go on and do them highlight performances. Martin, as we were saying before with Sandhagen, he doesn't have much to work on, but Martin, that's a clear hole to be that tired and to be looking that fatigued. He just looked ready to go, and it was just one of them things. You add an extra minute onto that fight, and Magny's going to knock him out. So obviously that's a thing to work on. But yeah, Magny not too impressive, but he's that type of guy. He's quite inconsistent, so hoping to see him again at his best and soon. Yeah.
For sure. So we'll move on from that one. Opening the card was a matchup between Eddie Wineland and Sugar Sean O'Malley. And the Sugar Show's real. He came out there, he said the whole week leading up, first round knockout. And what did he do? A minute 54 seconds in, got the first round knockout. The walk-off too. So, yeah, perfect. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a great performance. Wineland did tag him though. He did tag him, which... Like, when he got tagged, I was thinking, how's O'Malley going to react to this? Because we haven't seen him get tagged. Not a lot, anyway. So I was like, how's he going to react to this? Is he going to get super defensive and be too timid to throw? But he didn't. He stuck to his plan. Faked the uppercut, came over with the right hook, I believe, and put him out.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful stuff. It was just, I was watching it at the start of the fight, and he seems to be there to get hit. So that's a thing to watch out for as he goes up the ranks. Maybe he'll be more cautious. But as he was saying, I think he's about 6 foot. He's massive for the weight. So I wouldn't worry about his chin too much. I'd imagine he'd be able to take these shots from these type of fighters. I think he's such a big guy. But it was just super impressive, and if you watch it back, he hits him with a lead hook, and he hits him at that point because it doesn't seem, the actual final punch doesn't seem to have a lot on it. He just taps him, and he goes out, but he's already hurt by that point, and it was just, there was so much going on. There was so much skill. He's clearly super high level. Love to see is how good his wrestling is, and see him with a proper wrestler who's just going to pursue him for 3 rounds and go for that and just disrupt his game, get him against the fence and see how he deals with that. But in terms of what he had in front of him and what he achieved and what he accomplished in that fight, you can't ask for more. The Sugar Show keeps rolling. He's clearly a superstar. He just clearly is. It's just, does he have the talent to back up his status? Because if he does, this is the next Conor McGregor, and that's not any overreaction. He's got everything he needs. He just needs to prove that he is at that level. For
sure. And one thing coming out of the fight that I did disagree with is a lot of people were saying, I think it's just recency bias because they both got finishes. A lot of people were saying, do O'Malley versus Garbrandt. And I think that would be a big mistake, giving him that big a jump in competition. I think a top 15, 10 to 15 is a great level for him to fight at now. Anyone from 10 to 15, that's a perfect opponent for him because we'll really get to test the waters and see how he deals with the next level of fighter, But if you give him a top 10 guy, I think Cody will be top 5 after that win, maybe. But a lot of those guys, I don't think that it would be right to push him so fast. I think it would be another Darren Till moment where they pushed him to the title too quickly and he got exposed,
Yeah, there's so many fighters at bantamweight that you can make because Sonya Dong and Marlon Vera, they're 14 and 15. So, and they're top guys, so that's who you should be fighting. Maybe Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera's been, he's saying he wants a big fight and he's just coming off a loss. So maybe Sean O'Malley is the guy.
For sure.
Or you've got so many options there. Stanman, who had a great win. You've got Rob Font, who's just a beast. So, or Asensau, who's coming off a few losses now. So it's just, there's a lot of fighters there, and he's got a couple more before he's in the mix. But it doesn't take a lot in that division because you beat someone like Song Yadong or Marlon Vera, and then you're on to the next level. So there's so much there. I'd honestly watch him. Anyone in the top 15 now, anyone is a really good fight, a good test, a good step up.
For sure. And we'll use that to jump over to one of the fights out of the prelims. We'll just go all over the place. But we'll pick up on this one, which was Cody Staton versus Bryan Kelleher. And like I said, before this, I did say it was a bit of jump in competition for Kelleher, and I didn't like his chances. He didn't look terrible. He didn't look bad, but he definitely lost. He definitely got beaten. Like, he got outstruck for 3 rounds. And for Stamen, I thought that was a great performance. Like, perfect performance almost. He didn't really take a lot of damage. Wasn't in trouble too often that I can recall. Great performance. And obviously everything with his brother passing away, sadly, and all the stuff leading up to this fight, for him to go out there and put on a performance like that is very commendable, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he looked great, and shout out to Cody, because he literally, obviously Keller's coming off a massive knockout win, and he's just standing there with his head right there to be hit, and he just had such great head movement. It was great to see how good he was. He just dominated the fight really, and Kelleher was trying his hardest. He didn't perform badly, as you said. He was outgunned. He was in with a better fighter on the night anyway. And then obviously you're saying about stamina and everything he'd been through. When you're making picks on fights, that's something to pay attention to. If he's got so much going on in his life, it could go one way or the other, and it went the other, because he looked better than ever, the better than I've seen him. It was a great win, and shout out to the Stamen family. Hope they're all together now and just okay, and he can come back at some point and he can get another top guy. Why not give him? Sure, everyone's going to want Sean O'Malley, because he's someone everyone thinks he can probably take out, so that's a big fight for him. There's other fights, there's Song Yudong rematch, there's Vera, he's one of the guys, and he can, I think the most exciting thing, I know these two guys fought at featherweight, but they are bantamweights, and the most exciting thing about that is that there's so many, like, just our whole top 15 is just absolute killers row. So anyone in that top 15 for him, and it's a good fight, so can't wait to see him again.
Yeah, and we'll use that to jump on to the featherweights, which was a matchup you predicted perfectly, so props to you on this one, which was the Alex Casseras versus Chase Hooper. I thought Hooper would be able to get his back and choke him out. I was wrong.
Oh no! I put in the end. They ended up putting Stamen on me bet, and I was just so frustrated with myself, because the Casseras one was the one that I was confident about. The Stamen one, where I was just thinking maybe, and I decided to put it on, so I ended up losing. But
wait, Stamen won.
Yeah, I put Keller in.
Okay.
I was picking Keller to do upset, but I kind of like forced that pick, whereas I was really confident, that them odds were just off. Casseras, he's got about 20 fights in the UFC. He's got a lot of fights in the UFC, and that was just terrible matchmaking. And Casseras, he didn't even get out to second gear. He was just playing with his food. Like, that's not the best Casseras ever. He was just messing about with Chase Hooper, and shout out to Chase, because he's one little tough kid. Like, he was eating punches, he wouldn't stop coming forward, he wouldn't stop trying, he was getting some good positions, but he was just outgunned, and that's not his fault. That's just whoever's in charge of his, like, matching him and things like that. That's terrible matchmaking, and it was obvious. To me it was obvious. I just didn't think Hooper would be ready for that test, and he weren't ready for that test. So Casseras has got a big win, and he goes on, but Hooper, he's still like really impressive in that fight, because he hung tough, but you don't want to see that 20-year-olds taking them type of punches. So hopefully they can just drop him down a few levels and take your time. There's no rush. He's 20. He's got 10 years till he's anywhere near his peak. So and he actually looks like a kid in there. He looked like a skinny kid, and I think O'Malley had that similar thing at the start, where he looked skinny, but O'Malley went away, and he looks like a proper man now, like a proper jacked man. So Hooper can do the same. He's clearly skilled. He just needs to work a bit on his striking and fill out a bit, because when it comes to it, just thinking he's fighting a featherweight now, he could end up at middleweight. He's a big kid as well. So excited to see him progress. I just think Casseras, that was literally, you might as well just give him that win straight away, because it was just like, feeding them to the lions. It was just exactly that.
100%. So that's all the fights I wanted to touch on. Was there anything else on the card you wanted to speak about, or is that it?
Well, obviously we had the flyweights in the early leg kicks again. So that was impressive. Like, Alex Perez, like, what a win. And he was just, that's Famiga's one of the top guys. I think he's ranked number 4. So to get someone out there with leg kicks,
impressive.
It's just like, yeah, very, very impressive. And then he's just someone you watch out for now. And in that division, once Figueiredo and Benavidez have done it again, is he next in line now? I'd say he probably is.
He's
Perez,
be up
like,
there.
yeah. So it was that was just so impressive. I think he got a performance of the night. So yeah, shout out to him as well.
Awesome. Well, that's it. We'll end it there, and we'll speak to you on Wednesday to preview the next upcoming card this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Peace out, guys.